Hello, everybody. Eric here with a weekly wrap up for February 2nd through February 8th. What went on this week? I'm going to let you know. Let's start with what I did on my channel Wednesday, reading remembrances, as always. The two reviews that I put up were, I got to check because I can't remember. On Monday, Project Vampire Killer by Jonathan Rabb. Not going to say anything about it. You're going to have to watch the video. And on Friday was Gill's All Fright Diner by A. Lee Martinez. It was my second, or definitely at least my second, possibly my third time reading this book. And again, you're going to have to watch the review to find out anything about it. From me, anyway. And then, of course, a weekly wrap up. That's pretty much it for what I did on the channel. Now, worked a full week at the new job. So 3 weeks worked, 2 of them I didn't call off sick. A lot of people still calling off sick though. My first week there, I worked Monday, Tuesday, called off Wednesday, Thursday, and my supervisor called off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then second week, I think there were some random people off sick. And then this past week, my supervisor called off sick again. And the person that we call when we're calling off sick was off all week, was sick the entire week. And again, a bunch of other people just around in the world calling off sick. Apparently, I saw on the news, if you're going to trust the news, that Ohio leads the country in bird flu. And I think we now have tuberculosis running around here. There was some tuberculosis out west. That's west for me. But now here in Ohio, apparently we have that as well. So, yay. So yes, I worked an entire week and I got paid. That's the big stuff. So, that means I spent a lot of money. I paid bills, and I had a little left over, so I treated myself. Let's see. I'm trying to decide the order to do these things, and I've got a tiny little book haul. I went to the comic book store. I went to Comics R Go in Sheffield, Ohio, for the first time in almost 6 months. 6 months. And they were kind enough to hold all my comics for me. I did not have enough money to pick up everything, but I did pick up the majority. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depends on your opinion, I suppose. I'm not going to show you any of that stuff because I already put it under the stack, on the bottom of the stack of all the comics I haven't read yet. But there was a ton of Moon Knight. 3 different titles, because I think it ended the regular ongoing. I got like maybe the last issue of that. Then there was a mini series called The Phases of Moon Knight. And then there was the new ongoing Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu. So, all of that stuff. And then I got I caught up on Werewolf by Night, Red Band. I had the first issue. I've already read the first issue of that. And then I got 2 through 5, I think, is what they're up to. And then I got Blade, Red Band, all the current issues of that. The Red Band means they're sealed in a plastic bag because they're adult content, very graphic violence. So I got those, and I got DC Horror Presents, I think that's what it's called, or is it just Creature Commandos? DC Horror Creature Commandos. The first 3 issues of that didn't have issue 4 for some reason. And then Shadow Man from Valiant Comics. There was a mini series with him. And I think some other random stuff. I can't remember everything. But picked up, it was a big pile. Picked up that stuff. Had to leave some stuff behind. But I'll pick that up when I get my next paycheck. So, very excited to finally start catching up on purchasing my comic books. even though I'm still a year behind in reading the comics, over a year behind, I think, now. But got some books to show you, and then something very, very special. First of all, my bestie, Kaylee Dobbs of Happy Goat Horror, sent me some books. Her last collection, The End, was published by Black Shuck Books as part of their Shadows series. I don't remember what number it is, but it's the only one of those that I have, the Black Shuck Shadows series. I'd like to get the entire thing. And Kaylee Dobbs, my bestie, don't know if I mentioned that, just randomly, out of the blue, sent me 3 books in the series. So this is book 3, Unquiet Waters, by Tana Naveau. Man, this, looking at this cover here, the way I'm looking at it, it looks very dark purple. And when I hold it up like this, man, I am seeing a bright, bright blue. I'm also seeing a double image for some reason. Oh, it does have. Yeah, I'm seeing that correctly. That looks like a bright blue to me on the screen, and it looks like a very dark purple here. And it's weird because of the way my eyes are. I don't know if this is the way it is for everybody. When I see a bright blue or a bright red, I see things in 3D. And so, looking at the book like this, it's just purple. Looks normal. When I'm looking at it here and it's got that bright blue, I'm seeing depth in this picture. Anyway, that's all neither here nor there. That's just my weird brain and my weird eyes. This is book 3 in the Black Shuck Shadows, Unquiet Waters by Tana Naveau. Not sure about that pronunciation. Then we have, this is book 6, Broken on the Inside by Phil Sloman. That color's not, it's just it looks gray here, slightly lighter gray here. But these are all short story collections. And then the last one is Voices by Kit Power. And this is book 17 in the Black Shuck Shadows. It looks like a deep dark red, and not much different, but I am getting a 3D effect. It's a little brighter and a little 3D when I'm looking at it on the screen. So thank you very much to my bestie Kaylee Dobbs of Happy Goat Horror for sending me these 3 books. Then I treated myself, since I got paid. And after reading Project Vampire Hunter, the review of which I posted on this past Monday, I decided it was time to catch up on my Jonathan Rabb, or Rob, however you say his name. He's told me, I can never remember, but I picked up a couple of things. These are from Muzzleland Press, and this is his newest one, The Mausoleum of Gore, a Halloween TV special. And this is more just crazy, high strangeness, and it talks about, on the back cover copy, it talks about Cinema Goblin, practitioners of Cinema Goblin, psycho-spiritual approach to movie making, and that ties in a little bit with some of the concepts in Project Vampire Hunter. But he had another book that's the same. I think it's exactly the same size as this. It is The Crypt of Blood, a Halloween TV special. So, sort of a companion piece to that. It's sort of a cursed movie thing. I don't know, because I haven't read it yet. Very excited for this. I love Jonathan Rabb's stuff. And then I picked up Camp Ghoul Mountain Part 6, the official novelization, the director's cut. And this says, this revised and expanded director's cut contains a complete authorized adaptation of the infamous cult slash movie. So this is the first version of this is the first novel that I read by Jonathan Rabb, and I absolutely loved it. It's a novelization of the movie Camp Ghoul Mountain Part 6, which of course is not a real movie, but it also contained essentially sort of Blu-ray special features where it would talk about the composer and what the composer did and what the director would do and things that happened while they were shooting the movie. So it's sort of a novelization of the movie intercut with special features. And I'm interested to read this and see what the difference is between this version and the version I've already read. Although it's been a few years since I read it, and I'm not sure I'll recognize the differences. So I think when I read this, if I don't recognize those differences immediately, I will pull the other book out and sort of flip through and see what I can find difference-wise. But again, very excited for this. The original version, fantastic book. You can find my review of it somewhere on my channel. But Camp Ghoul Mountain Part 6, the official novelization, the director's cut. So I grabbed those, and I grabbed a couple other things on excuse me, the Happy Goat Horror YouTube channel this past week. Kaylee Dobbs interviewed Summer Cannon, two of my favorite people, chatting about horror and books and writing and all sorts of stuff. And cause I love Summer Cannon, fantastic person, fantastic author, and she loves werewolves. How can you not like someone who loves werewolves? But Summer Cannon mentioned that one of her favorite authors is Ruby Jean Jensen, and I do have one, I think only one, Ruby Jean Jensen book. So I went on eBay and looked up some Ruby Jean Jensen and picked up this book, House of Illusions, with the wonderful holographic cover. So I was inspired by the lovely Summer Cannon to pick up some Ruby Jean Jensen. I'm always on the lookout, but very cool to get a holographic cover. I love that stuff. While I was there looking for Ruby Jean Jensen, I found a couple other things, and I bought all three of these from the same vendor on eBay. So I think I found the Ruby Jean Jensen and then clicked on the seller's name to look at their store. And they have a ton. I could have spent so much money there. Tons and tons of these great paperbacks from hell, older paperback type stuff. So I got that, obviously. I got that. And then I apparently I've decided I'm going to build an Andrew Niederman collection because I picked up this lovely Sight Unseen by Andrew Niederman. I mean, if that's not a classic paperbacks from hell type cover, I don't know what is. So very excited for this, but very, very excited for this book. This is the book I'm going to be reading next. I'm 99% sure. Very happy that I was able to find this with this old cover. The Devil's Advocate by Andrew Niederman. I mean, you can easily find this. I believe you can easily find this on Amazon. New editions of it. But I like the old stuff, baby. So the movie, or the book that inspired the movie, was made into the movie, starring Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino and Charlize Theron. Possibly the first place I ever saw Charlize Theron. But very, very excited to read The Devil's Advocate by Andrew Niederman. And since I mentioned, see, I'm all discombobulated. Actually having to go to work 5 days a week has thrown me out of whack. But since I mentioned what I'm reading next, let's take a step back to what my reading has been. I was reading Wake Up and Open Your Eyes by Clay Chapman. I can't read his name from this far away. But I wasn't getting into it. Man, it sounded so interesting, so topical, but it didn't pull me in. I read the first part and then started reading the second part, and I was kind of getting annoyed because one right after the other, there are scenes that are trying to trick you. I don't know how, if that's the proper way to put it, but they weren't tricking. They weren't tricky in any way. The first scene in part two, it gives the woman's name, and then it's her back is contorting in such hellacious pain. Why is she being tortured like this? And from what we've read in part one, this could be something. But immediately I was like, oh, she's doing yoga. And after you read however many paragraphs talking about how she's being tortured and she's in pain, she's being put through hell, turns out she's doing yoga. And then they introduce another character, and it's the same kind of thing. This description of, oh my God, what's going on? And I was like, oh, it's this. And that's what it turned out to be. I don't know. For some reason, maybe I was just in the wrong mood. It just annoyed me. So, dumped that. It's sitting over there on the pile. Maybe I'll get back to it someday. Maybe someone will have read it and can tell me if it's worth getting past my hang-ups. But I just was not into it enough to keep going. So after that, I read Supernatural, Coyote's Kiss by Krista Faust. Now, the reason I owned this book is because it was written by Krista Faust, who, her hard case crime stuff is fantastic. And I'm a fan of the TV show Supernatural. And going back to that Kaylee Dobbs Summer Cannon interview, the subject Supernatural came up in the comments. We were talking about Supernatural. I needed something to read, so I grabbed Supernatural, Coyote's Kiss by Krista Faust. You're not going to see me review it because I don't think it's worth my time. I gave it, I think I rated it. Yeah, I've already rated it on Goodreads. I gave it 2 stars. It was okay. It felt like a very padded episode of Supernatural. The story takes place between 2 episodes of season 6, which is a season I did not see. Spoilers, in season 6, Sam Winchester does not have a soul. So I didn't really recognize his character. And I understand that he doesn't have a soul at this point. That's fine. But I didn't connect with him enough as a soulless person. And Dean, there was way... All right, look, folks. I love Edward Lee. And I love Raph James White. And I love all sorts of crazy extreme stuff. I am absolutely not a prude. I have no problem with sexual stuff in my fiction. But for some reason, Dean's sexual frustration in this book annoyed the hell out of me. Now, it does introduce a very interesting character, another hunter of Aztec descent, and Sam and Dean just constantly talking about how hot she is and staring at her ass, and Sam telling Dean that he should be banging her, and the flirtation between this woman and Dean, Sochi is her name. So the flirtation between them is fine, but it just went on and on and on. And I just found it annoying. So I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. It was okay, but not worth a full review. And it's on the pile of books that I'm taking to half-price books. Love Krista Faust stuff normally. This didn't work for me at all. So, finished that, and then, because I just can't make up my own mind, till Devil's Advocate, because the trailer for Jurassic World Rebirth came out, the teaser trailer, and one of my new coworkers loves dinosaurs. She's got 2 wonderful dinosaur tattoos on her arm. Very, very beautiful. Black and white. Very, very cool. But because of that, throw those 2 things together, I decided it was time to read Carnosaur by Harry Adam Knight, which is not the author's real name. So yeah, based on the fact that that teaser trailer came out and my coworker's love of dinosaurs, why not read Carnosaur? Dinosaurs eating people. I'm a little bit into it, about a third of the way through it. If you're going to read this, and this copy, do not read the introduction first. I made that mistake. I really can't trust Valancourt, because this is from Valancourt Books, this copy. In the introduction, the guy writing the introduction, who is Will Erickson, tells you the whole story. Start to finish. It's all in the introduction. So I should have learned my lesson and followed my rule that I use for the paperbacks from Hell books from Valancourt. Do not read the introduction first. But anyway, Carnosaur, this is what I'm currently reading. And I'm going to follow that up with Devil's Advocate. And I'm probably going to follow that up with Voices by Kit Power. All right, now, here's the big thing. This is the thing that has me the most excited. I treated myself again. I got paid. And so finally, for some reason, they didn't have this for me at the comic book shop. I was told it never came in. So I went ahead and ordered it myself on Amazon, which saved me 43%, I believe. This isn't necessarily the cover I would have wanted, but beggars can't be choosers. I am just happy to have this. And this is returning to my childhood. Godzilla, the original Marvel years, omnibus. Baby, it's got issues 1 through 24. All 24 issues, 2 years of Godzilla from Marvel Comics, including, I don't know if you'll be able to, how well you'll see that. Look at that, he's going up against the Avengers. There's Iron Man and Vision and Thor and the Wasp and other people. I can't see it that clearly. But man, there's the first issue. That's what the other cover was for the omnibus. I would have preferred that cover, but what are you going to do? Yeah, so excited to read freaking the old Godzilla comics from Marvel Comics. And this is, let's find some dates here. Issue 1 was August 1977. Issue 24 was July of 1979. Very, very excited. I'm definitely going to find the time to fit in the reading of this. So Godzilla, the original Marvel years, omnibus. There you go. All right. This has been a long weekly wrap-up. But there you have it. That's what's been going on with me in the past week. Question for the video. Any of these books catch your eye? And of course, feel free to bring up anything. Let's talk. How was your week? Let me know in the comments below. If you have any comments, questions, corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. All the usual YouTube stuff. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, I'll have links for my Instagram and Bluesky in the description below. That's it. That's all I've got for you this week. So until next week, read more books.